When I came to police department here last night, I spoke to the same three officers. I came here, showed the video of them threatening.
You came last night and talked to
I talked to the same three officers.
Okay.
And they told me, they said I want to file a criminal complaint. They said it's already done, and the report I would have in the morning.
I read the report of the people that called the law because they was on the parking lot at the fire department. That report was not in your name.
Again, I walked up to police officers in the parking lot.
Speaking with Dr. Stanwyck.
That I would like to file
She's attempted 2 times to make a criminal complaint. They refused to take it.
I can get you a deputy up here right now to file a report, but you said you don't know their name?
How would I know their names?
The deputies know their names because if they called and reported themselves.
Well, that's why I told police.
But the report I read has a juvenile's name in it. So I'm not going to give it to you. You can get an attorney and subpoena that record. But
no, I don't need to subpoena.
The juvenile didn't make the death threat.
Because I spoke to police officers.
Adults made the death threat.
Horse car in the parking lot that left.
You see how the sheriff is obstructing justice?
They threatened to come in, kick the door, knock me down, and all kinds of other threats. They are on that video. Physical threats.
You have that video?
Yes, I do have that video. One of them actually wanted to walk over to the property and actually just do that. 2 of them started screaming, "Do not go on that property." Just prior week, I had somebody brandish gun at me at the end of the Richard Moore's driveway. I filed that complaint too.
You know who it was?
So if you cannot investigate, I'm asking you to forward this matter, because we are in a lawsuit. I'm asking you to forward this matter to the state of Mississippi to investigate.
Okay.
Obviously, you are not capable of, your officers are not capable of explaining proper things to people. I was told last night when I came, I said, I want to file a criminal complaint about these people threatening. They said that's already been filed. So I'm come here today.
Well, I'm asking you, the report I read was not made. You would wish to make another report, I can get a deputy up here and take a report from you right now.
We will do that.
Get the deputy.
Because for that particular reason, I came here last night to make a criminal complaint.
Okay.
And they refused to take it.
But you don't know their names.
Well, how would I know names?
You don't know their names.
Random people I never met.
5 deputies on the scene talking to these adults. The sheriff is pretending as if he does not know the name of the accused.
Police, so they have police has these names.
Due process.
I'm not asking for children's
constitutional
names.
rights.
I'm asking for adults'
civil rights
names
being violated right now.
Are you capable of handling that?
I'm capable of getting a deputy to take them.
Criminal actions under the color of law.
Is capable of figuring out who was the name.
Title 18, U.S. Code 242.
Of somebody that you want to charge?
Yes.
Well,
get the deputy.
I'll have to go back and read that report, but when I seen it, it was a juvenile. I'm not going, and they was the ones made the report against you. I'm not going to give you that. That's what you're asking.
No, I came last night.
How many times does she have to explain to him? She's trying to make a criminal complaint about death threats being made to her
and let them investigate
by individuals that are already known by the sheriff's department, rendezvoused with them at the Alpine Volunteer Fire Department, and had lengthy conversation. I have the video and audio of this whole thing, but for some reason, they're unknown.
I'll get you a deputy up here right now. Is that what you want?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
All right.
Thank you.
You will. Don't record in this dispatch area. because that's.
I'm recording my interactions with public employees.
Just don't record in here. That's NCIC machines and things. It's not supposed to be.
Well, it's not showing.
It's security windows. You can't see through that.
Here.
Nobody's trying to record an NCIC machine. It's a public building.
Can you understand me?
Yes.
Record all you want to in here.
That's what we're doing.
Okay. Are we clear on that?
We're clear. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you for affirming what we already know.
So he's gonna get no officer out for me to make a complaint.
Okay. All this is on video, by the way.
Good, because
okay.
I cannot record right now.
Well, I am. So,
okay.
To be clear of what's going on, okay? Yesterday.
So.
Yeah, hold it. Yesterday, when you received these death threats and these adults driving vehicles, not juveniles, but adults with juveniles in tow, shouting obscenities and making death threats from the road and from the parking lot of the Alpine, Mississippi Volunteer Fire Department. You didn't call law enforcement, they did. This is exactly what happened 4 days prior to that, when a stalker stopped, backed up, blocked my driveway, and brandished a firearm. You filed a criminal complaint. You provided them with that information. As far as we know, they've done absolutely nothing. Yesterday, when as vehicle after vehicle after vehicle of private citizens, members of the Alpine Volunteer Fire Department, including the chief, sheriff deputies, one of which is a defendant in this federal case against them right now, all converge on this fire department. You show the deputies clear and evident proof verifying the profanities and the death threats and the individuals doing it. You stated you wanted to make a criminal complaint against those individuals. They took down your statement, and you were told that you could pick up a copy of that in the morning. That's today. Later yesterday evening, you contacted the sheriff's department and asked for the shift supervisor. You were told that he would be about 45 minutes away, and after an hour and a half of waiting, you were confronted by the very same deputies that were in Alpine. One of them claiming to be the shift supervisor. Again, you attempted to make a criminal complaint against the individuals that are well known to the sheriff's department. We have extensive video footage of them having conversations with them. For one to believe that they took a criminal complaint from a juvenile without getting the name of their legal guardian is absolutely absurd. They didn't need to know the name of all the adults there. They just needed to know the name of a child. This strikes me as odd. One would think they'd like to know who has guardianship over this child, but the sheriff is pretending as if he has no clue. He's gaslighting you by saying, do you know who they are? Your answer to that is, no, I don't know who they are. But you know who they are. You had 5 or 6 deputies on the scene. They've seen the camera footage. They talked to the adults. We have all the proof of that. So you know the names. Here are the pictures. We have the pictures if that'll help you out. All the evidence is already in the hands of Union County. Yet, the sheriff is telling you that making death threats is some type of misdemeanor charge. This coming from a defendant in a federal action that is obstructing justice. It's not a misdemeanor. A death threat to a witness in a federal case is not a misdemeanor. A threat by deputy sheriffs last night to incarcerate you or I if we made this video footage and this documentation that we obtained yesterday public. That's a constitutionally protected thing. They cannot. They have demonstrated verbally and physically their willingness to violate civil and constitutional rights. They verbalize that of making no question about their intentions to violate and continue to violate constitutional protected rights if we exposed footage from security cameras of adults shouting obscenities and making death threats from one of the defendants that's in charge, the chief of the Alpine, Mississippi Volunteer Fire Department. The conversation that we just heard, in part, I didn't get the first part of it. I think we've all heard enough to understand that the sheriff absolutely is doing everything within his power to obstruct justice, not to serve and protect the interest and uphold and protect the laws of this state and this nation. The oath, he swore an oath to do this. As you can see, he is clearly in violation of that oath. Now, with that said, we've got Dr. Astor Stanwyck at the Sheriff's Department attempting to file a criminal complaint. This is the third time. The only complaint they claim they have is something a juvenile complained of. We don't know what kind of lie these creepy, perverted stalkers have juxtaposed their children into this equation. We do know that they use their children as shields. Last night, a call was made to the Department of Human Services, and we made a very strong complaint about child endangerment and what happened and what took place. We also advised them that the people that are subjects of this complaint are also employees of Union County, Mississippi Sheriff's Department. Therefore, they must recuse themselves. They must absolutely refrain from attempting to obtain evidence that they know implicates them in crimes. How many times, how many phone calls, how many trips should a citizen have to make to report a crime and be forced to run in circles and being gaslighted by the chief law enforcement officer of this county? We don't know. But we do know that according to Mississippi Code, that these threats and that this stalking is a felony. For some reason, he's confused with what a misdemeanor and felony means. Obstruction of justice is a felony. What his officers and what he and the fire chief and the EMA director have engaged in is criminal behavior. This is not something that we're just blabbering about. This is the unmitigated truth, ladies and gentlemen. And Dr. Stanwyck, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
And you're still waiting for a deputy to come out and take your criminal complaint?
Correct, for the third time.
This is the third time. So now the sheriff, we assume, is back in there, and they're huddling up and trying to ascertain what lie they're going to tell this time. So far, he's trying to scare you away by saying there's a complaint by a juvenile made against you. And he's told you repeatedly he's not going to give you that name. You need to get a lawyer. I don't recall you asking for that name or anything about a juvenile. He's giving you information you did not ask for. So it's real clear. Anybody that just remotely understands the English language can see and understand exactly what is going on and what we're documenting. So the whole time I've been talking, he's within 10 foot of a deputy. I don't think it takes 10, 15 minutes, an hour, or ever how long it takes to walk 10 feet. So, again, what you're experiencing is abuse by the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Union County, Mississippi. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when law enforcement has committed crimes. They will pretend and carry themselves as if nothing has happened. They are not protecting the rights of every citizen. They only protect and serve their own self-interest. Being that as it is, that's fine if that's what you're living for, is to protect your self-interest. But here's the problem. The problem is, when you took an oath and you were sworn into office, you absolutely abandoned those self-interest and you became a servant of the people. I'm one of those people. Dr. Stanwyck is one of those people. So with that said, for some reason, we're still waiting and still attempting to file a criminal complaint. Now, this is from the same agency, ladies and gentlemen, that each time I publish the information about individuals caught on my property, breaking into my home, damaging property, tampering with my vehicle, creeping around, peeping in windows, making death threats, poisoning, and drugging. I have the evidence of that. What kind of evidence do I have? Well, I think that DNA, fingerprints, videos, recorded conversations, and the physical evidence, sworn statements, and all of that pertaining to these crimes has been well documented. This is not something that we've just wildly pulled out of thin air. This is very credible and damning evidence. So as an alternative news media reporter, my constitutional rights, my freedom of speech, and the freedom of press has exactly been blocked and denied. Union County had no problem with obtaining misdemeanor and felony warrants accusing me of stalking for publicly exposing the criminals that were doing the stalking. How do we keep doing this and allow these people to remain in office remains the big question. Once again, we have death threats yesterday. And what does Dr. Stanwyck hear? The only complaint they have is a complaint made by a juvenile against her. She's sitting on the front porch of my property recording equipment that's measuring frequencies and happens to pick up the death threats made by the stalkers. Based on that, are being on the front porch of my property, collecting data, a horde of stalkers and a horde of law enforcement officers immediately appear on the parking lot of Alpine Volunteer Fire Department. And out of all this criminal mischief, somehow they're trying to figure out a way to include the victims as some type of criminal. This, my friend, will be addressed in federal court. This is a textbook example of abuse under the color of law, and we intend on pursuing that very thing. The events over the past 7 days will change history in Union County, Mississippi, and in counties across this nation. Are you still waiting for a deputy?
Yes, I'm still waiting for a deputy.
Okay. And so I'm going to lay the phone down, but I'm going to keep you on the line.
I think here is a deputy.
Okay.
All right. Can we sit down someplace maybe?
If you want to, you can.
Yeah, sure.
You got your driver's license?
Yes, sir. I provided to the officers yesterday twice.
Yeah, they've already got your ID. Give it to them again.
And I will gladly provide that for you again.
Again, yeah.
And by the way, I'm recording this conversation.
Uh-oh.
Verbal. Okay, good. Here we go.
What's the address where you're staying at now?
1306 Highway 9 North, Blue Springs, Mississippi.
What's your phone number?
262 233 3696.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I was recording tri-field meter readings on a Richard's Morse property. It's 1306 Highway 9 North. There were about 3 trucks in a parking lot of the Alpine Fire Department. At that point, my skin started burning. I took my radio frequency meter and I started recording radio frequencies. So as I was recording radio frequencies, there was male shouting at me threats that gonna come in, kicks the door, gonna knock me down, what else not. I have a video to show to you. So I did not call police. Later female came with 2 children, which she was used obviously as a shield for other criminals in this activity. Because as soon as she came, she immediately started shouting something about videotaping her children, which I was not doing. I was simply videotaping tri-field meter. Those people don't know what they're doing. They have no reason for this violent behavior, threatening my life, my safety. So she was calling me bitch. She was shouting obscenities. Simply after previous threats, I did not engage in any contact with these people. I simply continued doing what I am doing because I was not videotaping any children. The only time I zoomed in is on an adult who made threats on me. I simply was recording tri-field meter readings. So I
Recording what now?
tri-field, TRIFIELD.
Reading?
Correct.
You was doing that, the female?
Yes. After first male shouted threats to me, I don't have that video. I did not, that video somehow got lost or didn't get recorded. That female came and...
we have the video.
She started accusing me of things I'm not doing after previous threats. I did not
they can't have
engage with them.
Because the sheriff's department was included.
I mean, I don't need to engage with anybody, simply sitting on my property doing my own thing.
Because they're not going to get it.
Later, they called police on me. When the police came, after they talked for a while, she was parked by Alpine Fire Department. She had 2 children in the car. Which she brought out of the car, and then she started accusing me of things I'm not doing.
Ditto.
That I am videotaping her children. She was calling me names. There is all kinds of threats going on at me. There were total 3 bigger SUVs and 1 dark color SUV with female and 2 children in a parking lot.
They have that on their body cam, and I have it on my cam.
One of the white SUVs left Alpine Fire Department. I believe that was the guy who was shouting threats. And at some point, he was ready to walk up to this property to actually physically beat me up.
Walk on his property. Sounds like a
so here were a couple of people who were yelling, "Don't do that! Don't go on that property."
He threatened to do it. Whatever happened in the good old days when people backed up what they're saying, like I do. Don't threaten me with a good time. You come on, see me, boys, anytime you get ready. You get froggy, jump. If I can't get you off of me, the ride won't cost you a dime, sweetheart. I promise you that.
She was cussing at you and threatened to harm you.
Correct. With other people together. So I will give you to watch the video. So meanwhile, when police came, I went to talk to them. I requested to file criminal complaint. They said, well, they filed it. But I need to bring the video of what happened.
No.
So last night I came to the sheriff's office here and actually met with those 3 same officers and showed them video where they could clearly hear threats.
Not last night.
And they agreed on that. And they said that I would have police report done by this morning. When I came here to request that police report,
a few days ago,
Jimmy Edwards, your sheriff, came out and said that report was filed against me by a child, although here were parents present over there. That's strange.
Yeah, that is strange.
Meanwhile, He claims that although I requested to file criminal charges for threatening me, there were no complaints filed from me. And that was the reason I came here, I showed the video.
I don't know nothing about what happened last night. I didn't work. Would this be your offense report that you can use to charge me? That's what you're going to do.
Yes, I will be. And here is the video. I didn't get it for you.
They said she refused to charge her.
Oh, let me go to the beginning. Let me make sure. I'm sure you know. Oh.
This is part 2.
There were threats shouted at me earlier before that video.
Hell, they know. They the one that sent them out there. Let's play and pretend with law enforcement gets old.
Did you hear beat shit out of you?
I can hear it. Everybody else can hear it. Just for the listeners' information, whatever law enforcement says can and will be considered a lie. I wonder if she kisses her mama with that filthy mouth. But then again, we're an Alpine. We won't get on that subject. We've got the death threat too on video. We're not going to give this to the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department absolutely still have not recused themselves from listening to something that they know that full well that we've already made it clear they're implicated as co-conspirators in these crimes. Why? They got somebody, including the sheriff, who was the defendant in this case, injecting himself and his deputies into something they have no business injecting and inserting themselves in. Will you willfully and clearly violate civil and constitutional rights? Qualified immunity is out the door. That does not cover a blatant constitutional and civil rights violation from law enforcement. When law enforcement makes it very clear that the defendant and the witness in this federal case, if they publicize evidence in this matter, they will be arrested.
So, Brother Blackguard approached a lady.
I even questioned Dr. Astor Stanwyck's education level. So we got a lady out there with a doctorate in medical practice and somebody that may or may not have completed an FHA or FAA program at East Union High School, questioning a highly accomplished, very intelligent individual. So, 18 U.S. Code 242. It threatened the use of dangerous weapons, explosive fire shall be fined, including kidnapping, attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or attempt to commit aggravated sexual or attempt to kill, shall be fined or imprisoned. Saying, when we come kick your door down and kill you, we got this on recording. I think that meets that bar.
Where's it at whenever she screams at you?
Pardon me?
Where's it at in the video where she yells at you?
That was at the beginning of the video.
Man
Man was yelling, later the black car approached, and then the female started accusing me and calling me bitch and what else not. Is this car?
So let me read to you what I got. Like I said, this is just the office report. It ain't
office report.
You just need to save that video. When you charge them, bring it to court, okay? So let the judge see it.
So I need the names of adults participating. I do not know those people.
We filed a freedom of information request according to Mississippi statute today.
They've called the county attorney. He's going to look over everything, and he's going to call you, okay? That information.
Yes, I will need your business card.
We don't have.
Don't have business
so
card.
I need clearly your name and the badge number.
My badge number is I'll put it on here. There's my last name, okay?
What is that?
Got that.
Right there.
But
how do they know? I mean, she's over the recording.
So can I read that?
But they listen to me live in my own house, so.
I like to see.
That's a fact, boys and girls.
Actually, Miss Migla understand.
I've already had that confirmed by 2 different attorneys that they're doing that. Okay? It's not some bizarre psychosis.
Well, he
This
was
is a fact.
screaming threats, physical threats. Okay, so that is not a threat. Okay. No.
That's for a judge and jury to decide. But they can't be involved in any of it because they're participants in the crime. I hate to keep repeating myself, but damn.
Go down here. You know where Chow Chow is?
No, she doesn't know where Chow Chow is.
So, are you familiar with the Mississippi statute of stalking?
Stalking?
Yes.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is perfectly fits under the statute.
Exactly.
And last week I had to file a report.
It's going to be more simple assault, not stalking.
No, it's not simple assault. No. When 2 or more people conspire to harass and threaten other person, that is criminal stalking.
In the name of Jesus.
Well, like I said, you can charge them over there.
Yes, I need to know names.
We're not going to justice court. It's not a misdemeanor.
They're talking to the county attorney, okay?
Okay.
As soon as he says okay, we'll give you the names, okay?
If the county attorney says it's okay to file
I'm not asking for juvenile name. No, you are
bringing that up.
I'm asking for names of adults who threaten to physically harm me.
We're not going to do that.
I don't need juveniles' names. I need adults' names. Here is a huge difference.
Branch the firearm.
So you need to investigate crime properly instead of denying my civil and constitutional rights.
Hallelujah, sister.
By refusing to give me names. You said you need to contact county attorney. So when I am being threatened, you need to call county sheriff and attorney to provide me with the names
of the
people
that threaten my life.
Involve juveniles, okay? That report is sealed.
Sealed?
That makes sense?
No.
I'm not reporting juveniles. I'm reporting adults threatening.
We're not talking about juveniles.
I came here to report.
Adults. It's
so
sealed.
What this has to do with juvenile?
It's a secret seal.
I'm reporting.
Okay, you want to sign there?
Let me see. I would like to add to that I am requesting names.
And you're not giving them to me.
Of the adults being on that parking lot, their license plate numbers, to file charges in a court.
Look here, folks. This deal makes Pasco County look like a walk through the park.
No, good.
He'll call it the dirty South for nothing.
So my last name is Miglana Stanwyck.
You're going to have to write that down, honey. You went way too far on that name. You get past 4 letters in anything, you write it down. 4 letters or less, you're good. If you get that 5th letter or more, write it down. Don't ever give me anything long and lengthy to read. You'll be standing there for days. You saw how long it took them to walk 10 feet, don't you? Give them a chapter of intelligence to read. You'd think you'd handed them War and Peace.
I put on there that the male subject was threatening harm to you.
Correct. No.
Well, we don't know really if it was a man
or
a woman.
There were multiple adult individuals. I want all of the names. There is also one individual who left either when police arrived or before.
I don't know who all.
Actually, last name, the 3 officers said that they had the name of that particular driver of a white truck.
Because he's defending this federal case.
So how long time it will take for Sheriff Jimmy Edwards' attorneys to deliver names of criminals? Are you gonna...
I'm gonna go back there and talk to him and see if he's figured anything out.
Yeah, ask him.
So I hope you're not gonna keep that past 3 years.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
3 years, so I wouldn't be able to file any charges because I was late to file.
I just need you to sign this if you're saying this is...
Yes, I will sign that and just a moment, let me put the driver's license away.
Are trying to ascertain the complexities of the gene pool here in Union County. Because that's matching up with the gene pool at 3 Mile Island after the Chernobyl incident. I mean, they're having to deal with catching fish with 3 eyes. We got people driving cars with that many.
All right, I'm gonna use the ladies' room.
Well, how about let's not record that?
So I have to wait for. Oh, and I need a copy, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Are you talking to a man or a woman?
So just
was you just talking to a man or a woman? Was that a man deputy or a woman deputy? All right, we're gonna cut the recording off here because I'll hit mute. Obviously, we can hear her, but she couldn't hear us. Me. Well, us. I've got two animals in here that they've absolutely been in here trying to unplug things and everything else. Maybe they're being mind controlled. Kind of like a toilet flushing. So, washing her hands. So, I mean, I didn't intend for this part to be, I can't mute it. I mean, it's, thought I was muting it. So I apologize for having to subject everybody to that. But, okay, well.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. So can everybody else.
Okay.
That's what the mute button's for.
All right. So he walked away. He hasn't given me a copy yet.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think he's coming with a copy.
Yeah. I wouldn't have took my eyes off of him myself. I just squatted and pissed in the floor.
His office is right across from the First Baptist Church. Straight across.
Could you please write down his name and number?
He's telling her to go to the First Baptist Church for what?
But I'll write down his name.
Whatever you do, don't go in that church.
Chandler Rogers. His office is straight across from First Baptist Church here in town, okay?
Okay, and when will you let me know the names of perpetrators?
You ain't gonna get it out of them. We're gonna get it out of them.
He's here right now?
Where is it?
I mean, that's like going to the mafia and trying to give up their.
So, why do I need to go see your district attorney?
Go see the district attorney.
File a complaint?
Yes, go see him.
I'm just a messenger.
I understand.
He just works there.
Reasonably, when a crime is being committed for me.
I hope you're going to get tased. Go see the district attorney.
So you're just blindly ignoring the law?
Folks, if you got any children around, you may want to give them a step away now because I don't know.
We can't release information.
If they may shoot her on the spot. It's Mississippi now.
I'm not.
You got to go through the proper ways, okay?
I just looked at that report.
Leave while you're able to leave. Go see the district attorney.
The police officer was writing, and I also looked at that report in the parking lot. Nothing in that report indicated that the report was made by a juvenile.
What?
At no time it was indicated to me that the report was made by a juvenile.
Y'all heard this? Where's the report you saw?
So why would police officers would not indicate to me that the report has been made by juvenile?
Ma'am, either way, you still have to go through the proper channels if you want that report.
Go to the First Baptist Church where he told you to go.
Okay? It has to go through the courts. If you want that, go get you an attorney, do all the proper paperwork.
Well, need no attorney, do no paperwork.
There's a process to getting this stuff.
Is it?
Since it's not in your name.
Freedom of Information Act. It's public information.
Well, this is in my name. And I need you to provide me names who committed crime against me.
He's not going to tell you. Go to the district attorney.
I told you, I showed you video, I showed you that adults committed crime.
He just showed you what happened.
I wrote the name on there. Go see him. Talk to you.
They're fixing to shoot her.
Go see him. Get all that the big entity.
They'd kill him for a lot less than that Astor in Mississippi.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Yeah.
All right. I was just told to.
We heard what you were told.
See.
The fact that you didn't get tased or shot is amazing.
Jimmy Edwards' attorney to get the information.
Look here. The district attorney.
On the perpetrators.
Can you hear me?
Threatened to assault me.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I was told to actually hire an attorney.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What?
Oh, the district attorney is not the attorney for the sheriff. The district attorney is the attorney that decides whether or not he wants to prosecute someone for a crime. For instance, if someone is murdered downtown New Albany in broad daylight with 1,000 witnesses, that goes to the district attorney. It's his decision to prosecute or not to prosecute. He can say, I don't want to fool with it. And the murderer goes free. That's the way it works. Okay, so now, the district attorney, they've instructed you to go over there. And so go over there. And let's get back over the phone and let's record that and see how far the gaslighting will go.
So here is the thing right now, I cannot video record anything.
Well, I don't need you to video record anything.
No, I understand. Okay.
But you can video record in a public building.
No, here's a different reasons for that.
Okay, whatever it is, that's fine.
No, I need to find, look up the name of that party.
All right, folks, we'll cut this part of it, and we'll be back with you as the saga continues to unfold.